Ash.
Nope. All right, now
We're live now.
Sorry about that, guys. Been a while.
Okay, welcome, guys. We were just talking to ourselves for the past 5 minutes, but no worries, it's all good. Welcome back to the Almost Star Wars show. It almost wasn't anything today. We are live. This is our first live show together, as you can probably tell, since we are now repeating ourselves. I'm James from the Rebel Base Build. So great to be back here with my friends.
Ron,
Dennis with the Black Market Outpost.
Oops, sorry. That's how rusty we are. We did it again. You guys missed it when we were doing it with no live, and now here we are. Sorry, go ahead, Dennis.
This time.
Dennis with the Black Market Outpost.
Brian?
I'm Brian from the Smuggler's Room.
And I'm Ron, otherwise known as CG-Rtist.
Talk about Groundhog Day. What does the R stand for in this?
Yeah, this feels very familiar.
Exactly the same way.
Oh, guys, anything could happen. But look, it's great to be back with you all on the show. I've missed this. We need to do this. And, we've been talking about doing it. We've been trying to make things work. And you know what? We've all done, I think, a live show at some point somewhere with someone. And we thought, hey, let's just jump on and do it and see where it goes. So far, so good, right? Anyway, wouldn't be the Almost Star Wars show without the original titles. Roll VT.
A long time ago in a galaxy almost far, far away, 4 makers unite in order to share and discuss their maker knowledge and some interesting topics along the way. Join us as we light the spark that brings back your childhood in the Almost Star Wars show!
Never
I
gets
just
old.
love that so much.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And the voice actor. Hey, I mean, perfect stuff.
Right. Thank you.
Let's have a rundown of what we're going to go through tonight. So we're going to be having a bit of a catch up. What have we all been doing? What are we working on at the moment? So I've got some images and some videos to show from all of our projects that we're currently working on. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about the most recent live action show, and that is the Skeleton Crew, which I think we all liked. But, we might have some deeper sort of analysis to make of that, and I'm sure you guys will in the comments. And then, of course, Andor season 2 is right around the corner. Massively excited for that. Can't wait. We're going to talk about our hopes and maybe some fears potentially. And of course, Star Wars Celebration is literally happening in the next couple of weeks, is it?
I wish we were there.
We're not going to be there. So we're going to be catching the live stream, but we might be able to sort of talk about our experiences when we were all together in London on the last one and some of our hopes for this one. So, and then obviously we're going to close out the show. We're going to try and go half hour, 45 minutes, maybe we'll see. Probably going to push on to an hour because we all talk a bit. We're going to try and do a live show each month. So let's see how that goes. Let us know in the comments if that's the kind of thing you'd like to see, because we certainly do want to do more. Right, so before we start talking about Skeleton Crew, let's have a little chat about what we've been up to and what kind of models and projects we've got going on. I'll go last, so I don't mind. Who wants to jump in? What have you been working on, boys?
Gentlemen, after you.
Oh, I've been working. Well, everybody saw the recent video I just put out for the Speeder Garage, which I started, I don't know what, James, a year ago?
Like
Some things just get away from you, right?
Yeah, they do.
Love
It
that.
turned out well, man. I mean,
Yes. So you guys are familiar. James put out a challenge a while back, and I actually did start it early enough to get it in time for the challenge, but things just don't always work out.
That's cool. Just bring that picture back up again for a minute, Ron, for me, please, buddy. Yeah, I think you was inspired, weren't you, by something that Brian had been working on with the foam work. Obviously, you were working on the brief from my show, but you were, I think a lot of that you were inspired by Brian's work, weren't you?
Yeah, I think a lot of this came from inspiration from the pit, and I really like the balcony setup they have at Galaxy's Edge in their Speeder Garage.
Yeah. That is a great spot.
Did you use lots of different materials for that and techniques?
Oh, yeah, it's got a ton of stuff. I mean, it's got everything from foam to plaster rocks to found parts to 3D printed greeblies. Some of James's greeblies are in there.
Cool.
Is that a mock-up for a full-scale build you're going to do of that in your backyard?
Yeah, that's... I'm going to open up an actual land speeder repair shop.
Land speeder repair shop.
There you go. I've always wanted to work on a full-size speeder. A full-size speeder is something I'd love to build.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Along the way, as I was building it, right, we needed somebody to run the place or be the owner of it, and we found the Ugnaughts, which I thought were great for mechanics, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they do everywhere they go.
Perfect fit.
And then we got Doc Ondar's brother up there, Nico Ondar, top shelf,
Nice.
overseeing the operations.
I love it. This stuff just makes you into storytellers, doesn't it? You're creating a little world and telling a story.
Yeah.
Still in our ripe old age, we're still playing with toys and making stories. I
Right.
love that.
Right.
You know, that's
Every time I'm doing that, I picture my wife coming to the door and doing that whole Spaceballs moment where she opens the door like, no, I didn't see you playing with your toys again.
right. I mean, we're at that age where you have the opportunity to build a toy they don't make or you couldn't get, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Which brings me to my next build. So I'm a pretty big fan of the 12-inch Star Wars action figures, not dolls, action figures.
That's right.
One of my favorite characters being Quinlan Voss from Clone Wars, mentioned in Obi-Wan Kenobi, also a tiny little glimpse of him in Phantom Menace.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's an actual full-size lightsaber that I made a while back. Just put it in there for size reference.
Cool. So in Phantom Menace, where was he? Just for people who don't know.
So it's when Qui-Gon Jinn and Jar Jar and Princess Amidala are walking just before they get to Watto's shop.
Mhm.
He's actually sitting at the restaurant table outside on the patio, and like if you watch him, his eyes track them all the way out. To him. So, like, almost he knew,
And in the Clone Wars show as well.
Maybe worried about his cover getting blown because he was kind of most of his career a double agent.
Mhm.
He did a lot of the dirty work for the Jedis.
You're the details man, Dennis. You look at all these little things going on in the background and delve down into that, don't you, and find these cool things. Love that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes
Nice.
I remember stuff. Sometimes I completely forget all about it.
That's
You got
my
to think
realm.
about figures.
Forgetting all about it.
There's actually a really good book based on his full story. It's called Dark Disciple,
Ah, okay.
and it's actually a canon book. They consider it canon. So it's Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Voss attempting to eliminate Count Dooku.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there's the love interest there as well.
Right. They actually become a couple during the book.
Wow.
This is what I was talking about with the details.
Yeah.
You know,
Dennis knows all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
It's one of the books I've enjoyed reading, actually. So, but yeah, the idea is that Count Dooku, Asajj Ventress was Count Dooku's apprentice, who he ditched. So she was in it for revenge, and he was in it to help out the Jedi. And combined together, they went on a manhunt for him.
Where do you get time to learn all this stuff? And also, you don't play video games, but you watch all the video game.
I don't,
movies.
but I love watching the video game movies. Like I don't have the patience to sit there and actually play the game, but I love when they string together like the 3-4 hours of screenshots and gameplay, and they tie it into a movie.
Yeah, the guys doing the video games sure know how to tell stories too.
They do.
The Star Wars Outlaw story should have been a movie. So, same with the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Like, I've always wondered, now that we're on that, I've always wondered like why they don't just use that animation and make an animated movie. They're fairly successful. They've already got the material done for animation for video gaming.
I think it's because when they're making video games, then they don't have the same limitations that you would when you're making movies and live action and dealing with live actors and things. I mean, I know you can do whatever you want with CG now in movies, but in video games, you can just do whatever the hell you want with the planets, the world, the ships. It's a lot easier. So I think, it's a good conversation there. Awesome, Dennis. That was everything you were going to show, right?
Yeah.
That's brilliant stuff, man.
About the I know you were working on a Y-wing fighter, right? Like
yeah.
Oh, like I forgot about the Y-wing.
Restoration.
So the Y-wing is sort of I'm not quite sure what it is yet because I keep going back and forth whether it's a resto mod or a full restoration.
Ah, okay.
I love this project.
those thrusters there are actually 3D printed, free files on Thingiverse if anybody needs parts. There's a lot of Kenner replacement parts right on Thingiverse.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of
so
them
many of us played so hard with those toys. We got them all busted up, and we missing all those parts. I've been fascinated that you're rebuilding it.
So, I went to a toy show with my son. We go quite often, like these little small ones around us in the area. And I mean, it was sitting in a box for $5. I'm like, man, for $5, I can do something with that thing, whether I just totally customize it or, like I said, maybe do a restoration with some modifications. I had this idea in my head all along of something along the lines like the Mandalorian N1, where it is the N1, but it's not the N1, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, a little free liberty to add something or take something away or improve something.
Yep.
Love that. I do like the wiring. I really want to model the one scene in, I know, Rise of Skywalker, but I like the newer version with all the outer coatings on there. I think
I'd love you to take a shot, James, at modeling that Ralph McQuarrie version. It's old school. Yeah, it's a great shot.
I like the thruster details on the back of the Ralph McQuarrie version. Beautiful. Yeah. Maybe I should do a Y-wing series or something.
There you go.
The evolution of the Y-wing.
Yeah. I've always liked the Y-wing. Never had that as the toy, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. Like, so you guys, I don't know if you're familiar, but this is it's the 1980s Y-wing is what this one is. The first one released.
Yeah, the original.
But it's got a mechanism where the landing gears are able to come up and down based on a button off the top. None of that worked, and I was able to 3D print all those interior gears and levers and a new front landing gear. And I mean, it works like the day you bought it.
Wow. Perfect. You know, mine never worked. The front gear never latched where it was supposed to.
Yeah. So
it always fell out.
So actually, it's funny you mentioned that, Brian, because I always had that issue too with the one that I have that's complete. What I did discover was there's actually a second position on that button that locks the leg forward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you push down and click, right?
Yeah, once you trigger it, you push down and click forward another, like literally a millimeter or two, and it locks that gearing.
Yeah.
It drops the tooth out on the gear because I was looking inside to see how it works, and it literally drops the tooth off the gear so that it can't roll backwards, which is what would happen.
Wow.
You'd set it down, and then the nose weight of it would have the gear fold.
Oh, dang.
You know, we should call the next live show The Details with Dennis and just have Dennis in it. I'd watch it. In fact, I would rather just watch and ask questions.
Yeah, agreed.
It's awesome, man.
I'm available around the clock on Facebook at Black Market Outpost.
Cool. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing, buddy. Ron, should we go to you, Ron? Have you got some?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't have much. I, like you, Dennis, I've been working on something for like a year, and that's the pinball machine, which everyone who's close to me has heard me talk about and not really seen. So I finally started working on it. This is what it's supposed to look like, minus all the greebly detail. So this is just a rendering in Blender, and this is what I've come up with so far. So I still have to make the box that holds the actual screen.
How big is the screen, Ron?
I haven't decided yet. Like, I bought a 40-inch monitor or a 40-inch TV, and I was going to use that, but then I thought these screens are so cheap. I could sell that like on Facebook Marketplace and get a 50-inch.
So pop the video back up, or the image back up. So okay. And then the actual one you're building, that version?
Yeah, so that's the bottom part, so minus the part with the screen. I haven't gotten that far yet.
I got you. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So there's the part with the screen. So basically it's just right up to where you see the indentation part. Just that whole square top just hasn't been built yet.
Right. Ron, I've got a question. I've got a question, Ron. So there are some differences from the 3D model to the final thing there. How were you inspired by and based your woodwork on the 3D model, or was the 3D model in some way imported into your designs?
Yes.
Yes,
it's more like
yes,
so I started with the 3D model. Basically, you guys are probably familiar with Gumroad. There are people who make kit bashing kits for sci-fi stuff.
What?
And I didn't want to kind of reinvent the wheel and just start from scratch. Yep.
What is? Explain this. I'm completely unfamiliar with what
kit bashing is. So
no, Gumroad. What is Gumroad?
Oh, so Gumroad, it's basically a online platform where people can sell digital art or digital assets. They can sell video tutorials. It's just another platform for selling digital type things. And it seems like a lot of artists have gone on there, a lot of 3D artists in particular. Yeah. I'm sure there's others, but they basically put out these packs, plugins for like Blender and Maya. They put all these plugins and things out there. So on there, you can look for kit bashing sci-fi, and there's a plethora of 3D models that someone painstakingly has modeled, and they just have them all lined up, just tons of parts and pieces, and you put them together to kind of make something in the digital world, just like how Dennis does with found parts in the real world. So it's just like that, but a digital sense. And Gumroad is just another platform.
Are they 3D printable?
Yes. Some. So of course the people who are making them, they would have to, make them for 3D printing, because then you don't have to worry about overhangs and things like that, and on hollow parts. So I have had to go through and make them a more solid part, and then decide which parts I actually wanted. And in this case, for the pinball machine, I just decided basically anything that I thought I could make in the real world out of MDF or plywood. I didn't want to make something where I'm like, how am I going to make that? I mean, that I didn't want to 3D print a whole bunch of parts and put those together because of the weight of the thing. But there would be some parts that I can plug in, like Greeblies and stuff. I can do 3D printing on that. But I wanted to see, how would I make this thing out of wood or foam at the very most, foam elements. So that's why I did it that way.
I mean, it's got to have some weight to it anyway, because you're going to be kind of hammering on it, right? With the and you're going to have solenoids and all that kind of stuff, so that it feels right, so that it feels like you're actually playing a pinball. Okay, that's sweet,
right,
dude.
exactly. And so far, it's pretty heavy. MDF's pretty dense. So now the top part that holds the monitor, I'm going to do that out of plywood, because it's already pretty heavy.
Hey Ron, Deanna had a question. Was it Gumroad or Gumroad?
Gum, as in chewing gum. And road is the type of road you drive down.
Cool.
Gumroad.
Nice.
Yep. So there's that. I don't have pictures of the other things, but in this room, as you know, it's patterned after the Death Star. In particular, there is a panel right there. That little part right there, that square part. I can't get fingers right, but that square part. I've noticed that on the Death Star, there's like a red panel. Everybody knows about that red panel that they have, right? So I'm going to actually make two of them identical for both of those spots in the room. So that'll be a video. Basically, I'm just going to take that part out. So you'll see me dismantle and possibly break that panel off. We'll see how that goes. And then the base of it will be MDF. And painted and all, and then I'll 3D print the Greeblies from. I think I saw this whole thing built on Thingiverse. Of course, I got to make it the right size, and then I'll print out the Greeblies accordingly and just put all that together. So that's one project, and then my final project in the immediate future would be making a gun turret that will sit in the entrance area out there, so that as soon as you walk in, this turret is just kind of aimed at you. I haven't decided if I want to put servo motors in it and motion, so that it'll be facing away, and then when you step in, it'll turn around and kind of aim at you. I think that would be a pretty cool effect.
Yes, you're going to do that, and we've all decided. We all vote yes. Yep. So
what you could do, Ron, is you could use some kind of AI camera that has the AI tracking with the gimbal that's automated, and that would be cool, right? And have the turret actually follow the people. Awesome.
It would be cool. Actually, what I want to do is have it turn. And then I want the turret itself to aim down. Yeah. So it'll be up and away, and then it'll turn and then aim right down.
Like it's put really a red dot right on your forehead as you're walking through.
Yeah, and shoot projectiles made of metal.
Go to Ron's house for movies.
Like an episode of Black Mirror next, wouldn't it? Like,
there you go. So yeah, that's all I have going on.
What about K2? I see he's up behind you, fully standing.
Yeah.
The only reason he's there is because Lord Vader is out there, and it's too cramped over there. So
I like that spot for him, though.
What's that?
I like that spot for him.
It works. It's just that the air ducts are kind of in the way, so I gotta get that speaker out of the corner and reposition it so he could kind of stand, not so awkward, you know.
It's so menacing. I can't wait to see Andor season 2 with this dude.
Yes, Andor season 2. Woo! Man, those trailers, man, that's delivering better. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, that's all I have.
That's awesome, Ron. Thanks for sharing, man. It's amazing as always. I love how you can just casually turn your camera around and just show this awesome room.
Yeah, right.
Not jealous at all. Cool. Brian, lay those amazing projects on us. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. I got a lot of different stuff going on. I'm not even sure what I sent you guys as far as images.
Diorama.
Yeah, I mean we've been working on the pit in the basement project and trying to get that whole thing figured out. So we've been working on parts and pieces of it as we go. The next big step, I think, is to actually build the frame, which I've decided to do not in traditional woodworking terms as far as like building a carcass out of plywood, but I'm going to build the entire structure out of extruded aluminum, or aluminium as our friends over the seas say it. I think it would be a much easier way to disassemble and reassemble. And I'm kind of fascinated by working with the extruded aluminum. I think that would be kind of interesting. So yeah. And then what did I send you guys for photos? I can't even remember what we were working on. Oh yes. Okay. See, that's how where my brain is. Yeah. So this project right here, this is a video we're going to have up this week. Actually, Chris is editing it right now. It started as this really large greebly design that I was doing for the room build. And these 6-inch figures, I took it to Carissa and I showed her and I said, wouldn't it be cool if you could use this as something a little more practical? And she said, well, it's a little big. Yeah, the one on the right there. So she mentioned that that's a little big to put a figure in, but if you made it slightly smaller, then, you know, maybe folks could print these out and then you could display the figures in there. And then maybe we could even do some kind of diorama build inside. So I've been playing around with different laser cut designs in the background, and then you can put the actual figures in there. And I found these rechargeable puck lights that have a magnet that comes with it. So the light you see in there, it's just a magnet on the back of the light. So when the power dies on it, you just reach up in there, you pop it free, you plug it in, you charge it back up, you throw it up. So the idea is you can either mount these on the wall, or we've got a version in one of the photos I showed you that it's sitting on a stand. It's that one on the left there. So if you wanted it to sit on a stand, and then I've got a couple of different file types. One of the file types is like a 360 degrees. So it's the same on the front as the back. So you could put it on the end of a desk or something and walk all the way around it and build. What I really wanted to do is carve some kind of rock formation and get the action figure from Jedi Fallen Order and have him kind of crawling up the rock, or, you know, doing one of the climbing things that he does in the game. So that's been a fun project, and it's kind of finally done. The other thing, and this is kind of a project I haven't shared with anybody other than Kelly Stern, who's actually with us in the chat, Props and Villainy. He reached out and said he wanted to redo his bathroom, but he wanted an alien theme to the bathroom. And so I dug into the Alien Nostromo and then the Alien Romulus movie and a little bit of Aliens from '85, and started kind of piecing together different sections of it and then designing the bathroom. And it's a small space, but I pulled different aspects from each thing and then tried to design it in a way that wouldn't be too claustrophobic, but also slightly ship claustrophobic, if you get what I'm saying. And I think Kelly actually started demo on it this week. And yeah, I had to do the alien coming out of the ceiling because Kelly's like, when I'm going to the bathroom and I look up, I want to be able to see an alien coming for me. So a little xenomorph crawling out of the ceiling. And I actually 3D printed the alien head this week to try to see what the size and scale would look like because I want to have one in my own room. So yeah, man. And I guess that I could probably keep going, but that's about where we're at right now. We've got a bunch of things going.
Yeah,
I love it. And the toilet, this is going to be a stupid question, but the toilet and the sink, are they modeled on something that Kelly has already purchased or will purchase? Are they actual, or are they just things that you think would be cool?
No, he's got a black toilet and a sink. They're fairly similar to that. Right. I modeled those up just so I could have scale and size based on his dimensions. But they're pretty close to that. It'll work.
It'll work. It's amazing. And if there was ever a good place to take a crap, that is definitely on my top 5.
Yeah.
Well, the uninitiated, when they just, you're sitting there. I mean, they'll be on their phone. Then they'll probably go, man, what was I? Oh my God, what is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Good,
right.
Good if you concentrate, I guess. Just look up.
Yeah. I think they have cameras in its eyes. That's weird.
Love it. Those figure displays, they're amazing. I'm loving the reflective stand.
Oh, thanks.
Before you put them on, that's great for presentation. Yeah, I like that idea. That's cool. I think a lot of people in the figure community are going to be all over that.
I hope so. It seemed like a kind of a and Ron, that was what Carissa said. My wife, she was saying if you printed those, then you could have a whole wall where you've got your whole collection, and then each background would be slightly different to match whatever that character was. I don't know. I try to do that. Impractically practical is always what's going through my head when we're trying to come up with a project. It's like, well, if you're going to build a moisture evaporator, it should make margaritas, that kind of concept, right? So, yeah. Anyway, James, what do you have going? I'm dying to know what new thing is coming.
Yeah. It's been a busy time at the Rebel Base build. Actually, I've been trying to sort of pump out quite a few 3D models. Actually, I've had several projects going, and I felt like I wasn't making much progress on many of them. So I thought, right, okay, I've got a new printer. I've got the Quiddy. I knew I was going to get it wrong. The QIDI. How do you pronounce it, Brian?
Kitty. Well, actually, Dennis found out that I was saying cheaty, but Dennis, what did you say it was?
Yeah, it's Kitty.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got the Kitty 4 Plus, and it's an amazing printer. For me, it's my first real kind of delving into PLA filament printing, because I've been resin, as you guys know, for ages. And I was blown away by it. I mean, it was fast, it was accurate, it's been problem-free so far, touch wood. And, the quality coming out of these modern PLAs just blows my mind, if I'm honest. I mean, I remember playing around with one back in 2015 when it was crap. And then a little bit about 2 or 3 years ago, I had an Ender 3 that I had some success with. But this thing's amazing. So I thought, right, okay, I need a good project on this. So I started to work on that Tatooine house model that I'd made last year. This one. So I thought this would be a great model, which is now released and it's available on Patreon and Etsy, I believe. But this, what you're looking at now, is all printed on the PLA, except for the canopies and some of the aerials. But most of that was printed on the filament printer, which totally blew my mind. Because
is that without any finishing, sanding, or anything on those, James?
Yeah, all that is filler primer. There's no sanding at all. Just filler primer.
Yeah, man.
I dialed in the settings on the printer, sort of went for high quality. Took a little bit longer. That piece there is printed on the Sheedy.
Wow.
Yeah. So is that when it all is except for a couple of the little aerials and some of the canopies. So I was impressed by it. I mean, it's just an amazing printer, and it kind of inspired me to really go to town on thinking about how these things go together for printers. So people that are printing these things, like I think I flipped that one around. You can see there's like a jigsaw element to it underneath right there where you slide those pieces together.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of making me think differently about modeling now that I have both resin and PLA, whereas before I wasn't really thinking about the guys with the filaments so much as I was with the resin. So it's been a real learning curve for me. And that design is completely custom as well. It's not actually sort of based on on a building or something that was in any of the shows or movies. It's just something that kind of came up without my head, obviously inspired by Star Wars, but it was a lot of fun. And I printed it all in one weekend. The resin pieces, again, did a few of those over the weekend. I just had a blast playing with the new printer. I mean, it was, well, you guys remember, I was chucking this all in the group chat.
Yeah. I mean, the printer's I mean, I got one and it has been running nonstop. I didn't realize some of those pieces were I just figured there was a more printed with resin than there was with the filament, the PLA, but man, that looks so good.
Yeah, I was well pleased with that.
If I had your skill, I'd throw mine away.
You throw what away?
My skill. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece, man. I love that building.
The lights down the side. I'm going to try and use, the flexible filaments to try and do the wording. Yeah. That's going to be a whole pain level, I think, but I'm going to have a go. And I've already started to detail it and paint it out. It's in my editor. The model's not finished, but I'm editing and modeling at the same time. And the other project I'm working on, which isn't released on Etsy or Patreon yet, but will be, is the Tantive or Tantive 4, however you want to say it. I've heard it pronounced. I think I said this the other day on a podcast, Tantive or Tantive 4. This one is, again, blown away by the printer. So I was just chucking projects at it all week actually. And this one is a mixture. You're going to see in a minute a mixture of resin and filament. And this is the scene, where Darth Vader chokes the poor rebel dude. You get that awesome kind of tank cylinder detail behind. And I thought, you know what? I don't think I've seen that. I think there is a version of it on Thingiverse and a few other, but they're not particularly high detailed. And I thought I really want to go to town on the details.
Yeah.
Again, it's all kind of interlockable, so a nice sort of satisfying build, like kit bashing almost, just sort of plugging things together. And there's a good mix again of filament for the big pieces, because I can't stand printing massive things on the resin. I've done that before with the N1 and the Mando house. It just takes forever. Well, it doesn't take forever, but it's just because of a small bed, you have to print so much more of it. And then just relied on the smaller pieces again, just chuck them through the resin printer. So I've been really delving down into the dioramas recently, and trying to get a bit of a back catalogue of those, if you like, rather than concentrating on some of the spaceships, which is what I was doing a lot of. Haven't done many props really at the moment. I've got a few planned, but my room build is kind of on pause for now. But you can see there's a nice mixture of the resin and the filament together.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And you haven't had any trouble with, between the resin and the filament printing, having anything not align correctly or be sized right. Is that correct?
Yeah, do you know what? That's an interesting question, Brian, because I was expecting that. I was thinking there's no way these things are going to be so accurate that the resin print is going to be perfect to the curvature of the PLA, and it was. I mean, it just slotted right in there. So I've got the Elegoo Saturn Ultra for whatever it is. It's the
Saturn 4.
Saturn 4, yeah. And it's again beautiful. I've got no issues with that at all. I like the way that the lid folds up, and
yeah.
You inspired me on that one. I can't. They reached out to you and me, I think, didn't they? More or less.
Yeah. It's. I mean, within the same weeks, we were on the same printers. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, they're great machines, both of them. I mean, I even put them in the shop because I wanted them closer to where I was working, and that's changed between. And I know there's. I'm sorry, I'm bogarting you here, but like I saw a comment on. It was one of our videos when someone was really hounding on me for, I can't remember what it's 3D printing or laser cutting or whatever. And I looked around the shop and I'm like, well, the 3D printers are right there and the laser cutters behind me, and it's made the workflow happen. And I just have zero problem with it. I just really don't care that those are the tools I'm using, because it's allowing me to get whatever is in my head in a physical space in the shortest amount of time. And it's perfect. And I don't think it takes away from any of the creativity. I mean, the amount of time, we all spend 3D modeling and laying out laser cut designs and all that. It's, I don't know. I just,
you know what? The magic word there is tool, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand.
I don't either.
Are people still using a handsaw, or are they going to an electric saw? Are people still? It's
right.
just I just don't get it. It's a tool. It's a way to put out whatever you're designing, thinking, or having somebody else do the design for you. It doesn't really matter. How many things have we built in the past where we've, I've done something for you, you've done something for me, and back and forth, regardless of how I did it, whether I used a pot and pan I found at a thrift store, or James, designed a front door for my Tatooine house. I just don't understand that.
You're so right. I feel like I found a sweet spot with the Elegoo resin, the Chidi, and then my S1 laser cut. Like you say, Brian, I feel like I now have a nice little workflow. It's just I can just throw projects at it and still bring in the kit bash in and the found parts and all that stuff as well. It's not a problem to me. So I'm enjoying that. I really am.
I think one of the differences, and I heard this on the other show that you were on, James, is a lot of people feel that you could just download a 3D model and just print it, so you're not really creating anything. I think the difference is you actually create stuff from scratch. You sit there in a 3D modeling program or sculpting program and make these things, which isn't easy. I mean, you need some sort of training or creative juices going on, and you have to learn the tool to be able to do that, and then think in terms of 3D printing. If I make this thing, is it solid? Will the printer software even read it correctly? Have I made it smooth enough, or will it start to see little facets and things in there? So you have to think about that. And then finally, printing out your design, So
and you're doing CNC, right, Ron? The pinball machine you're making? The pinball machine you're making, like that's all CNC, but you had to go through all the process of learning all the tools and figuring out how it worked before it goes together.
I mean, even going out there and grabbing somebody else's file, right? You still have to have the skill to make it look good. The 3D printer is giving you a gray primer, design or whatever you're printing, but you still have to have the skill to pull it off.
Plus, then there's the finishing of it all. I mean, that's not gonna. You can't just print it off finished. I think is what you're saying, right?
You're not printing it off with rust stains or weathering or
and then see that's where the
finish or whatever, depending on what you're building.
So when do we get to see the video, James?
Guys, the ILM crew is doing the same thing we're doing, right? If they can 3D print it, they're 3D printing it. Regardless of where their skill level is or what tools they're using or any of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Brian, you said when you see the video. Well, I've actually got a little bit of time off work, so I'm not back at work until a week Tuesday. So I plan to edit in the evenings to get them out. So I've got 3 projects sitting in my editor, but I've also got 2 young children and a wonderful wife. So I've got a lot going on. But yeah, I'm gonna get those out very, very soon. I've been concentrating on getting the files done, get them test printed, and get them out to my patrons and Etsy and that kind of thing. Because I've been a little bit lapsed on that, so I want to make sure that's out there first for sure. I've got a couple of cool little projects as well. We went to watch the Minecraft movie. Loved the chicken jockey dude, so I've been using my my Fold Z 6 or whatever it is to sit there, and that's not obviously that's a screenshot of the one from the film, but that's what I'm working on at the moment. Going to do a nice little Minecraft diorama with this dude on there. I just think it's a bit of fun, and it's not always about Star Wars. So it's great fun. I'm enjoying it. Nice to be back with it.
Almost Star Wars. Almost.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
Almost.
So there we go. So that's what we're all doing, and we've used most of our time already, which is fine. We're just rolling with it. So Skeleton Crew, we were going to talk about that real quick. Let's just have a quick little chat about that. What do we think? I liked it. I enjoyed it. For me, it was kind of felt like Goonies and the 80s, and there was some really great designs. There was, again, the story was kind of cool, but there were some questionable decisions here and there, and as there seems to be with a lot of the live action stuff, sort of eye-rolling things that happen. You think, well, wait, what? But on the whole, it was great. It was popcorn. It was, it was fun. I liked the characters. There wasn't anything in there I didn't like. I didn't feel like there was much messaging sort of thrown in our direction. It was cool, good Star Wars fun. I just wish more people got to see it, because I think they're onto something good with that show.
Yeah, I think
so.
What
do you guys think?
Yeah.
It fell into that category of giving us something that we didn't ask for, which is something I've been screaming about since Disney bought Lucasfilm, which is I don't need iconic characters all the time, and I don't need to know stories from characters I already know. I would rather someone creative come in and give us a story like Andor or the Skeleton Crew, right? Or Mandalorian before it got weird. It's like, just give us content that explores the universe a little bit more. Now, Skeleton Crew was definitely, I mean, it hit hard on that 80s vibe, and definitely Goonies in space. There's no question about it. And there are parts of it that pull me out of the universe a little bit, but not enough that I didn't enjoy it. And it was actually a real bummer to find out how many people didn't watch it. And the reason they didn't was because of all the baggage they were carrying from all the other stuff that didn't work. But I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was fun, and popcorn is exactly the word that I would use.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it was told from the point of view of the kids, which I think was kind of a new thing for Star Wars. I always felt like Star Wars was told from the point of view of Luke Skywalker, who in A New Hope was a kid, right? He was just a young guy. Yeah, and I enjoyed that about the original movies, and kind of following him through that narration and the hero's arc, if you like. And I kind of like that about the characters as well. It was nice to see how each of them, with their different personalities and different skill sets, were kind of brought together in the way that they were. And I really, really loved the fact that they showed, they touched on disabilities in Star Wars, which was awesome to see that, and how she was able to bring so much to the story because of that. And I enjoyed that. I thought that was nice to see. And it really fed a lot into the story. Really good as well to see some stop motion used.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah. Phil Tippett. So cool. Yeah.
So what do you think then, Ron, Dennis? What do you guys think of it?
Yeah, I think it was enjoyable, right? I agree with everything you guys say. Definitely popcorn, but I mean, we grew up on popcorn, right? Go back and think about all the stuff we watched.
Yeah.
It was geared in the fashion that we all enjoy. Yeah, I mean, and to carry on your guys' point, yeah, there were some things that didn't work or maybe pulled you out, or, too residential of a neighborhood or things like that, but it wasn't enough to deter you or to, I'm not watching this, or the story I felt maybe didn't end quite as like, it didn't have like a proper closing, I guess is what I'm looking for at the end of it. But other than that, I thought it was a great show. I mean, I'd watch another season of it, but then again, I'd watch anything, right, including video game reels.
If anything, just so you can take it to pieces and get all the fine details going, right?
Yeah.
And then quote it 10 years later, and we're like, yeah, you're right. I think the 80s thing, it worked because that's where we started with a lot of this stuff, right? And for me, that was, I love that. Yeah. Ron, did we hear from you on this one?
So I really liked Skeleton Crew, and I went into it just feeling like, oh, I'm gonna hate this, I'm gonna hate it. But like Dennis, because it's Star Wars, I watched all of it. So I, benefit of the doubt, I started watching and was like pleasantly surprised. I mean, I liked the whole residential area and all. It's just, like what Brian was saying, is it's a different part of the universe, something you've just never seen before, which I think is what made Andor so good. But it was nice to see how the streets are, their version of the bikes. Truly Goonies in space. And I was just pleasantly surprised. And kudos to everyone who were the actors in it. Everyone played their parts perfectly. Nobody phoned it in. Nobody. Yeah. Except maybe the guy's dad. But anyway, it was really well done. Just well done. And at points when I thought it was going to go in one direction in a kind of cheesy way, it didn't. And spoilers, for anyone who hasn't watched it, you should turn away now. But there's a scene where the main character gets the lightsaber for the first time. And I thought, oh, here we go. Another Rey. You're just going to instantly know what you're going to do. So he turns the lightsaber on to try to use it, and it's upside down. And I thought, oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys didn't go the direction I thought you were going to go. So it was little pleasant surprises like that, And then tying it all together, just seeing how I'm bad with the character names on this one. It's funny. I used to know every character of everything with the first trilogy, but anyway, I digress. Having the pirate droid always saying that he didn't know where it was or had never heard of the place, and then having him come back, So I thought that was pretty cool. But overall, I thought it was good, and I agree with Dennis. it just ended like meh. I mean, it got to this climactic point, and then the end.
Yeah, yeah.
What is that? I wanted more. So, like you, Dennis, if there's a season 2 to it, which I really hope there is, I am definitely going to tune into that one.
Yeah, didn't have the feeling like maybe it was one episode short of finishing.
Yeah, I totally thought that.
Yeah,
I think when they invaded At-Atten, I think it could have been somewhat of a takeover and then battle back and then end it.
Well, when your episodes are so short,
oh, here we go.
Which is my biggest complaint.
Here it comes.
I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Well, you don't have to worry about that with Andor, right?
No. And speaking of, how are we feeling about the 22nd of April?
Can't wait.
Oh,
I'm a little bit excited, but some of the trailers, I got this gut feeling that we're about to get a whole lot of what's the word, like fanfare. They're gonna fan service. Fan service. There you go, Ron. Thank you.
Yeah. Why do you say that, Dennis?
Done correctly, though.
There's no doubt in my mind that those wheat fields are going to be Lothal. And what's in Lothal?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know. Tony Gilroy is not much for fan service. I mean,
he's not, but you know how that works. The dollar overpowers the. I don't know. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
I'm all over it. I remember saying to you guys when the first video trailer came out, and I was like, wasn't too into the edit. It was the edit that I had an issue with, not the content. I was like dropping a bomb into the group chat and just leaving because I was like, what the hell? But what I meant was it didn't grab me. But then when the second trailer came out, it was for me, it was awesome. I was blown away by it. I do have a tiny kind of issue in the back of my mind. I feel like it's not, I don't know. I just think there's a danger that it's not going to deliver quite what people think it will. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Maybe I'm just nervous because of things that have happened like in between. Yeah. It looks different. It looks different from the Andor that we knew. But that's a good thing. I mean, he's evolving the show, and this 3 episode per week thing for me is going to be a nightmare to try and find time to fit that in. I just want to watch it. Like I'm going to have do an all-nighter, I think, to get through it all because I want to get my big screen out and do it properly. But that's different, right? That's different from the season 1. So I think it'll be a different experience, but it's still going to be that grittiness of Andor, I think. I mean, what do you guys think?
That's different from any type of episodic type thing. I mean, to release it like that, it seems. I don't know why they had to do that. I mean, I think I love it, but like you, I mean, attention. I got to get to work the next morning. That's 3 hours of, I don't know. And I know how I am. I'm not going to want to wait because everyone's going to want to talk about it. I got to see it. I got to get this view. So it's almost like if you release it at midnight, I guess, then the very next day when I get home from work, I'll just watch that and then go to bed. I mean, for 3 hours, I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just, I don't know. It seems like
sounds like you're complaining
and a long season at the same time. Yes, I'm not complaining
because they are long episodes as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's like 3 hours.
3 hours.
That's a lot to. I mean, it's great. It's awesome. It's a great problem to have, is what I'm saying.
I just hope it's not one of those things where it backfires on them and we're 3 hour episodes and nobody's watching them all the way through. 3 hours is a lot. You know what I mean?
Come on, Dennis.
I'm not saying I won't be watching them all the way through, but
hey, Outer World Workshop says the same thing that you were saying, James.
Yeah, I agree.
It's so weird that particular trailer hit so much harder for me than from most people. It works for me and I think I'm like super fanboy when it comes to Andor. I think that Rogue One was one of the best things that Disney produced since buying Lucasfilm. And then Andor came in and crushed it for me because I'm no longer the Skeleton Crew age, right? I'm not 12 or 6 anymore. So it's evolved. It's evolved to match the kind of thought process I have as a 47-year-old. So Andor matches me now, and it's kind of like I love the idea of learning about how dysfunctional the rebellion would have been It wouldn't have been perfect, and they wouldn't have been awesome. They would have done some pretty nasty stuff to get to where they were in A New Hope.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that gritty, dark atmosphere of what they went through. So I don't know. I guess I'm all for it in a huge way. I don't feel nervous at all. And I think that's because of the interviews I've seen Tony Gilroy give, where he was basically like, I'm not being hounded by Disney or Lucasfilm on decisions I'm making. I'm making the decisions that I'm going to make, and they can take it or leave it. And that's probably what needed to happen. And he's making political statements without having to go over the top to make a political statement, right? And that's true storytelling. Yeah. You can deliver a message without putting it in our face and putting it in a real way. So I don't know.
That's right, Acolyte. Sorry.
I think what worked so overwhelmingly well on season 1 was the drama aspect of it. And I think what it did do for me was made every decision, every death, every whatever really count. You know, because I cared about everything. There was a reason to be bothered by something. Whereas, you know, when we say popcorn TV, Andor is not popcorn TV because it's so much deeper, right? Yeah. Popcorn is like kind of throwaway, but great fun, and you can dip in and out of it, right? Whereas for Andor season 1, just everything, the music, the pacing, and I know some people found the pacing an issue, but, you know, I've been subjected to lots of drama shows. My wife watches drama all the time. And, you know, I've kind of gotten into it myself. Some great stuff. Like the broad
church. Like Game of Thrones. Right? I don't know if you guys watch Game of Thrones, but think of that, right?
Oh, yeah.
In comparison.
Yeah. So what's not to like about Star Wars doing drama? I mean,
right.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Deep.
If I had my way, we redo the first trilogy in that format would be nice.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Or give us a whole new trilogy we never expected with characters and places and times we didn't know and put it in that format.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, I don't feel a need to, and I'm not disagreeing necessarily with you, Ron, but like, I don't feel a need to go back to anywhere I've been. It's a universe we've never explored beyond that tight little Skywalker saga. Yeah. Yeah. You know, even with Mandalorian, they couldn't leave it alone. They still had to drag that in.
Right.
Like, you didn't need to do that. And anyway,
that's my fear on this season of Andor. They're going to drag that in just like they did with Mando.
Nope, they won't.
Think so?
Because it doesn't fit in their timeline and what Tony Gilroy is trying to do. There is no reason for it. This leads the way they're doing this season is they're tying. He said that the last episode will then directly tie to Rogue One.
Right.
There is nothing else to tie into there. You might see some Vader in there. I wouldn't be surprised if we get Vader a little bit in there, but it's not going to be derailing the storyline that we're following, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I also like how.
Go ahead, James.
I was going to say, I gave way. Go on.
1, 2, 3, go.
Go, James.
Go ahead, James.
I also like how they're not bothering too much about the way the characters are naturally aging. So, you know, Diego is looking a bit older now than he obviously was back then. And it just seems to me that they're running with it. I mean, why spend the time pissing around with makeup to make him look younger, you know?
Yeah.
And also the guy in the white, what's he called?
Krennic.
Krennic, yeah. As well, obviously looking much older now, you know. They don't seem to bother him with that, and why would they? Because we all know it's been filmed out of chronological sequence. It doesn't matter.
Sure.
That's kind of what I like about Gilroy's approach with this. He's just kind of a no mess kind of a dude. He just cracks on with it and tells good stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's it. Story always wins, right? No matter what, story always wins.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, I think Brian nailed it too. When we've seen it, right? We want to see the new, like the video games, right? They take you to the new. It's stuff you haven't seen. It's places you haven't gone. And even if you're not a video gamer, there's enough video in a video game to understand the full story of what the game is supposed to be or the general idea of it.
I would love if they took some of those games and actually did do a live action. You know, that would be nice. I mean, even though you could just watch the game trailer, you know, the great game videos, it would just be nice to actually have that as a live action. And then obviously they'd add a little bit more to it. And, you know, I mean, it just would be cool. The content was there, right?
Yeah, you're right, Ron. When I went through that Star Wars Outlaw game, the feedback in the community was that the game was not as great as everybody wanted the actual gameplay to be. But what I found interesting was the storyline. You know, when Kathleen Kennedy came into Lucasfilm and her big drive was strong female lead characters, and you know that I don't have a problem with that. I think that's a fantastic idea, but give us a good story. And Star Wars Outlaw was an amazing story about a strong female lead. That and she carried that was a good story. That would have been an amazing movie or 12 episode series. It was super enjoyable to see that whole progression. I don't know. Anyway, I get all on my soapbox and stuff.
No, you're totally right. And there was some talk about Cal Kestis as well being in a live action show at some point. From Survivor and Fallen. And also I saw today a little clip. I'm not sure if it's true. A clipping, like a post about a horror Star Wars is apparently in the works. But we hear lots of rumors about things that are coming and don't happen. But that would be good. That would be cool.
I say Fitzgerald Lewis has a question for you, James.
Yeah. That's a great point. So we've been chatting about working on again something helping with some of the assets and things and having a look at where we're going. It's amazing. It's based on Galaxy's Edge, so it's kind of like we're looking at recreating an area of that. It's going to be something that will be pitched, hopefully pitched to ILM to see what happens. There's lots of people going to be sort of volunteering and taking part in building on this. I had the pleasure of joining Fitzgerald on a video call a couple of weeks back, and he showed me his idea and the block out in Unreal Engine for this so far, and it's looking really cool, got to say. And as I was looking around it, I was thinking, I could model this, I could model that, and it's a real kind of open license to recreate things from Galaxy's Edge. So thanks
that's cool
for sort of saying we could share that in here. I'm sure we're going to have something to show at some point soon, but it's been
awesome. Cool. Looking forward to that then. Wow.
Okay, great. Cool. Well, look, I think we've nearly run for an hour. We did have Star Wars Celebration on there to chat about our hopes, so maybe we can just do a quick 5 minutes on that, and then we're going to bring it to an end. So what are you guys hoping for? Obviously, we're not going to Star Wars Celebration, right? But
nope,
no, not this time.
Too many other things happening, man.
Yeah.
It's
a far
tough
trip
time to
too.
make
That's a road trip and a half right there.
I hope that they have a better setup for the folks than what we experienced in London. Like, we had a great time together, the four of us. That was outstanding. But I know compared to the Anaheim celebration, London was a little lackluster, and I mean, we were just coming off of COVID, so I get there was probably some of that. So I hope that they have more to offer in Japan, and I hope they announce somewhere for probably 2027, because it's about every 2 years. I hope it's somewhere where the four of us are able to get together again. That's a big hope for me.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, the what made the experience so good last time was the fact that we were just hanging together and having those memories. That was crazy. But you're right. There are better event spaces in London to run shows in. I'm not quite so sure why it ended up there, to be fair, but it was still good. I mean, it was good fun. But yeah, absolutely.
We still need to pull off our C2E2 party.
Yes, that's definitely happening next year. Definitely.
Sounds awesome. The content, though, we're going to get trailers. We're going to get hopefully announcements. What I'm not looking forward to is more announcements of more films and more projects that aren't going to happen, because that just gets on the nerves.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't trust it anymore.
No, can't get excited about it, to be fair. It's got to be something that we know is tangible and is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Right. You can't, like Brian said, you can't trust it anymore. You see this announcement, or you hear this announcement, you see some little small clip or something, and then you just sit back and wait for the cancellation date, because it's coming.
Yeah,
I'm sure they'll have some kind of teaser that they show exclusive to to Celebration for like Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm sure that something will be seen there.
Yeah, right.
The rumors I've been hearing that, and something I would really love if they did, is the Rogue Squadron that was supposed to be in development. They got paused and turned on and paused, and now it's turned on again.
Oh, okay.
That would
Top
be
Gun in space. I'm good with that.
Yep.
But I think it's turned on based on Carson Teva taking over that role.
I don't remember the specifics of what it was. I saw it was the director, Patty. I can't remember her last name now.
Jenkins, is it?
Jenkins.
Yeah, there you
Patty
go. Yeah.
Jenkins.
Yeah, she came back on Twitter or X or whatever the heck they call it now and said she was ready to go. I don't know. So maybe we see something on that. That'd be awesome.
Fingers crossed.
Well, I'm just trying to think back, and maybe I'm wrong in my thought, but wasn't that Rogue Squadron supposed to be based on Cara Dune?
No, that was a series. That was
Rangers,
more of like infantry Rangers.
Rangers of the New Republic.
Rogue Squadron is all about X-wing.
Sorry,
pilots.
yes, I confused the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Definitely happen. Love to see that happen.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I think we've just about exhausted our hour and then some.
Let's do it.
And I know that some of us have got to crack on and go somewhere. And for me, it's actually
it's 2 a.m. for you.
2 a.m.
It's almost breakfast time, isn't it?
I'm not looking
you're
my
insane.
best. I'm probably talking crap as well, but never mind. It's all good.
And you ran a 10K today. Can we just point out that James ran a 10K and then stayed up until 1 a.m. to do a podcast?
Yeah.
Dedication right there.
Crazy. Good time. But this has been a blast being back. And look, we don't even have to edit it afterwards. It's done, right? That's it.
Done.
Yeah.
Out
Done.
there.
So well done, fellas. I think it was good. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And please, obviously, the chat's been busy all evening. So that's great. So thanks for joining us. We're definitely going to do it again. We might even just move to a live format. It's just easy for everybody. We can just jump on and do it. And then, we're not waiting on editing and that kind of thing. So listen, it's been fun. It's been great being back with you guys on a live show like this. Really awesome. Let's do it again soon. Hopefully next month.
Absolutely.
Which is a long way.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about Andor, right? And
Yes. You
see
got
if
it.
we're all happy.
Yep.
Thanks all for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. Take care, guys.
Good night, everybody.
All right.